From allegedly ordering a hit out on Tupac to exploiting artists and bribing them to remain silent, here are the darkest secrets of P. Diddy. Tupac's death in the 90s was a major shock to the entire music industry. After all, in the rap world, Shakur was one of the biggest stars. At the time of his death, it was believed that Tupac got into a fight with Orlando Anderson after spotting him during a Mike Tyson boxing match. And when their crews decided to confront each other, things took a very violent turn, eventually leading to Tupac getting ambushed in a drive-by attack. For decades, this was the version of the story most people believed. But recently, that's changed. And well, it looks like P. Diddy might just have had some involvement in all this. You see, recently, Keith D., who was long believed to be involved, was finally arrested for his role in Tupac's death. Keith D., the uncle of Orlando Anderson, was involved in the events that happened that night. And unlike Orlando, who passed away earlier, Keith D. is still alive and well, and his recent arrest reignited the investigation. So where does P. Diddy fit into all this? Well, according to Keith, the reason they chased after Tupac that night was because there was a $1 million bounty on his head. And allegedly, this was put there by none other than P. Diddy himself. It's quite the bomb drop, isn't it? And that's all that Keith D. has revealed. Apparently, he connected to Diddy through his gang affiliation, working as security in LA. That's when Diddy offered him $1 million.
Supposedly
True.
so actually, he
Yeah,
can show out for $1 million.
Yeah. If that's what happened, yeah. They sure said it. The FBI said that.
Which is about as much as $2 million today, by the way. So it was no small amount of cash by any means. And it only gets crazier from there. Keith D. placed another huge accusation on Diddy. He mentioned that a person linked to Diddy was the one who supplied him with the weapon used on the fatal night. Now, I'm sure this isn't the first time folks have heard about these theories. In fact, for a long time, people have suspected P. Diddy of having some sort of involvement. But why would he go out of his way to put such a huge hit out on Tupac? Well, one theory suggests that Tupac's rivalry with Biggie, along with his rumored involvement with one of Diddy's baby mothers, could have fueled the desire to remove him from the scene. Keith claims that Diddy called him after Tupac died, asking if the job had been done. Allegedly, Diddy paid the money through an intermediary who, instead of delivering it to Keith D., pocketed the cash. So the dude straight up killed someone and didn't even get any money out of the whole fiasco. Of course, this made Keith absolutely despise Diddy. And let's just say he's been talking about this pretty openly for the past decade or so. Plus, even if you feel like Keith D. isn't the most reliable person, keep in mind that similar claims have been made by a bunch of other people. This includes Diddy's own former bodyguard, as well as Suge Knight's bodyguard, and even Detective Craig Kading, who was investigating the case back then. But is it just Keith's hatred for Diddy for cutting him out of the deal that's making him want to bring light to all this? Well, some believe he did this under the assumption of having immunity. This is thanks to a proffer agreement, allowing him to share his knowledge without fear of prosecution. But, to be honest, if you take a look at the situation thoroughly, it does feel like Keith's being driven by nothing but bitterness for Diddy. I mean, just consider that he's now in his twilight years with little to show for it, while Diddy has ascended to billionaire status. The major contrast between the two has surely made him want to take a shot at Diddy, knowing the huge sum he was denied was because of him. But you don't just become a billionaire without a couple of friends in high places. And let's just say that the reason why P. Diddy's been living his best life, despite allegedly ordering a hit on Tupac, is because of these connections and influences he's built over the years. They always seem to help him out, and that's the reason he's avoided arrest for this long. People have also been linking Keith's recent arrest with Diddy's, saying that he might be involved in the gangster getting sent behind bars. Could it be linked to Diddy's recent disputes? Especially with the owners of the Ciroc liquor brand? For those of you who might not know, in June 2023, Diddy sued Ciroc's owners for racial discrimination, leading to a huge fallout costing him hundreds of millions of dollars. This legal battle just so happens to coincide with Keith's arrest for a crime connected to Tupac's death. Despite Keith openly incriminating himself and Diddy for years, the fact that he's only been arrested now means that something else might be at play here. Some folks think that Diddy might have finally messed with the wrong crowd, and there are some elite figures who might be orchestrating his downfall. Getting Keith arrested could be a way to keep Diddy in check, knowing that at any point they could use Keith's statements as leverage to send Diddy to prison once and for all. Now, it's tough to say if there's a lot of truth to all this, but it definitely goes to show just how sinister the showbiz industry can really be. I mean, if Diddy resolves his issues with Ciroc and evades police questioning, things might just go back to normal, with no one pursuing Tupac's death, giving those closest to him some sense of closure. It's sad that it comes down to some powerful people playing around with justice to meet their own goals and agendas rather than doing the right thing. And if there's one thing this situation makes clear, it's that Diddy is a huge gatekeeper. I mean, if Keef's accusations hold any weight, then the guy was literally willing to kill Tupac just to get rid of any potential hurdles in competition. This is a darker side of the entertainment world that might not always be visible. But rest assured, things like this do take place. And remember, for Diddy, it wasn't just for business reasons that he might have put a hit out on Tupac. After all, there was the issue of Shakur being involved with one of Diddy's baby mothers too. And that's not even the end of Diddy's darkest secrets. That's because allegations made against him suggest he engages in exploitative practices with male artists, cementing his position as a huge gatekeeper, probably the biggest in the industry. And with Keef's statements on full display, tons of people are finally waking up to this. His narrative has definitely shaken things up, but whether justice will be served still remains to be seen. And if all that wasn't enough, some people even attribute Biggie's death to Diddy. After all, when you take a closer look at how both of them died, the circumstances surrounding their deaths are eerily similar. This makes this whole situation even sadder, assuming there's even a morsel of truth to it. I mean, while Diddy has amassed billions, his artists often find themselves either struggling financially or, in the case of Biggie and Tupac, tragically gone. Now, it's got to be said that recent reports around Diddy have been somewhat positive. There's news circulating that he's returning publishing rights to some of his former artists. But hold on. Sure, on the surface, this might be seen as a redemption move from a man with a questionable track record. But, as with anything involving Diddy, there's a potential catch. Aubrey O'Day, a former artist from the pop group Danity Kane, said that this gesture of returning publishing rights comes with strings attached. The publishing rights, which might not hold significant value in today's market, are seemingly a way for Diddy to deflect criticism. In exchange for the returned rights, artists are allegedly required to sign a document, preventing them from speaking negatively about Diddy and his record label. So even the bit of goodwill he's extending is mostly just a facade. And really, this is yet another way to exploit the same artist he's been mooching from all this time. And there's really no easy way to put it, because the guy is straight up buying artists' silence. And it goes to show just how the guy became a billionaire, by exploiting and robbing those in his orbit, especially the artists who contributed to his success. The music industry is just one huge mess, with artists often getting exploited by record labels and influential people like Diddy getting the bulk of their money. This, coupled with all the other accusations made against the guy, really highlights just how much of a sinister person he really is. Folks can't help but wonder if he, like Suge Knight, will eventually face the consequences of his actions, locked up and paying for the alleged exploitation. Or will he once again find a way to slip through the cracks and avoid justice? So from exploiting artists and bribing them to remain silent, to allegedly ordering a hit out on Tupac, those were the darkest secrets of P. Diddy.